Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and West Coast Avengers, issue number 1. West Coast Avengers was actually one of my favorite comic books when I was growing up. There were so many amazing first-time things that ever happened. Like, you found out that Khonshu was actually a real thing, you know what I'm saying? And Mockingbird was proven to be one of the most resilient characters ever. And Hawkeye was solidified as a jerk. Just saying. And so many other things, man, like the U.S. Patriot, not U.S. U.S. Agent, versus Hawkeye, and Wonder Man for the most part coming in on his own. Rhodey hiding as Iron Man. Everybody thinking he's Tony Stark for the longest time. I mean, there's just so many great stories that happened in there, and very little of it was actually meant to be humorous. You know what I'm saying? And then it became Force Works, and it became a joke in and of itself, just because of the name, not because of bad writing or anything. That's not what I'm saying. But West Coast Avengers has a lot of meaning for me. So this was going to take a lot for me to like this, because, I don't know, turning into a book of humor, that's something else. But I gotta say, I'm fairly impressed. Let's get into this. Writer, Kelly Thompson. Artist, Stefano Caselli. Color artist, Triona Farrell. Letters, VC's Joe Caramanga. The cover is by Caselli and Nolan Woodard. And there's a variant cover out there too. Actually, it looks like a couple of variant covers. So, oh my God, and the Dodsons again. Jeez, that's like 4 variant covers that they've done. Wow, man. How about letting some other people do some variant covers? How about that? So we get a film crew that is doing some recordings of these knuckleheads all throughout. And I like that because it kind of gives it that New Warriors feel. Then we get Land Sharks, which kind of gives it that Saturday Night Live feel from way, way back in the day. Like, I think that was the first season, for crying out loud. Jeez, you get... I don't know much about America. I know what people have said about America. And I know that her sales were horrible. I know that Comixology, I think it was issue number 12, was the final issue of Miss America, whatever the name of the series was. I never read a single one of them, but on the day that it was released, I took a quick look, and I was thinking to myself, okay, so this is supposed to be the last issue. Maybe I'll get them all. And that issue was $2.99. And then I saw that they had the volume 2, which included issues 7 through 12. And I could get the whole entire volume for $2.99. That told me everything I needed to know. Because on the same day that the final issue releases, they're going to release the entire second half of the darn thing for $2.99. That told me everything I needed to know about what people, for the most part, thought about the Miss America line. So I did hear that she's particularly violent and things like that, but I also heard that from a bunch of goofballs. So the only other thing that I know about Miss America, whatever her name is the little bit that she was involved in the Ultimates 2 comic book, which was an amazing comic book. If I remember correctly, I think that was Ewing that wrote that. But yeah, that's all I really know. And she was negligible in there. She barely did anything. I could tell that she was one of those characters who had a lot of power, but practically no personality. There was nothing put into her personality. Here, it seems like Kelly Thompson is making her exactly what everybody thought that she was, and that's an extremely violent person with a lot of power. I don't know what all of her powers are. She can apparently teleport by, going into star-shaped gates. She can fly, and she can punch people really hard. So she seems to be a serious powerhouse. Quite on the level of Quentin Quire? Probably not, but up there. Definitely up there. If you can teleport somebody to the sun, that puts you a mega level no matter what. That's my opinion. So they're fighting off these land sharks and whatnot, and America's taking her time grabbing a guy with no superpowers, the original Hawkeye, in order to bring him back and help riding a land shark. They're kind of peppering each other to the film crew, which I thought was actually pretty cool, because it's a really great way, in case we don't know anything about any of these characters. King's Point, nobody's going to know anything about Fuse. I believe that this is his first appearance in this book. So I didn't know anything about Miss America for the most part. Obviously, nobody knows anything about Fuse. I never read the Hawkeyes series, or whatever that was, that had Bishop and Clint Barton in it. Clinton, that works. I never read that series, although I did hear amazing things about it. I think Kelly Thompson actually wrote that. I'm not sure. Like I said, I have no idea. Quentin Quire is one of my favorite mutant characters. Absolutely love the character. He's just crazy enough to work. And, yeah, as far as the other characters here, oh, Gwenpool. Gwenpool, who's one of the most annoying characters I think I've ever met. Somehow we got to understand enough about them in this issue, and I gather that we're going to learn a lot more about the characters just as slowly, but just as steadily throughout the rest of the issues. And yes, I am going to continue reading this series because I was surprised at how much I liked it. And literally, it's one of those things where, like I explained in the beginning, the deck was stacked against my liking this book, and yet somehow, damn you. So there's a couple of scenes in here of Kate Bishop interviewing a whole bunch. I'm laughing just looking at the damn thing. Interviewing a whole bunch of people, and some of them are parodies of other characters. Some of them are just freaking hysterical. Case in point, when we got to the Dutch oven character, I about lost it. My cat was looking at me as I was laughing so hard. And mind you, it's 3:36 in the a.m. right now, all right? And I'm sitting here trying hard to hold in a belly laugh as my kids and my wife are sleeping right now. So like I said, my cat just looked at me like, dude, are you okay? So that was pretty impressive. The effing Dutch oven. Are you kidding me? Wow. So, and mind you, this whole series right here, I don't remember. I'm trying to remember who wrote it. I didn't feel like looking it up. The story in the Avengers, one of the Avengers, I think that was the New Avengers, where Power Man, Luke Cage, was trying to find a babysitter along with his wife, Jessica Jones. They were trying to find a babysitter for their child, little Danielle. And eventually Squirrel Girl became the nanny, but they went through so many people, and the scenes in there were just perfect. They were just perfect. Everybody got a single line. Sometimes they got more than one. And you can't read something like that without laughing hysterically. And here, this was on par with that. This was really good. Also, one of the things that I noticed that Kelly Thompson likes to do, which just it can't be replaced, and I think that more people should do it, is she'll have these little things here where every time that you meet a new character, or a new character shows up for the first time, whether you know the character or not, you get the name and a whole bunch of things. It's basically like one of my 10 things about that I put on my channel, and it's a lot shorter than that, but still. This is really cool. I love that she does that because it gives you a good idea of what these characters can do, what all these players can do. So besides Fuse, there is another at least one more first appearance. And it's, oh, Jesus Christ. It's Brodok. And yes, he does have a big old Hector Hammond head. Okay, I give up. This is going in my freaking poll list. All right? This is going in my poll box. Because, god damn it, man. I also liked that there's one of the, besides Hawkeye, one of the original West Coast Avengers is in here also. And she, hint, hint, has a bit of a problem going on. Not sure exactly what's going on. But there's a hint again. Yeah, there's something happening and they've got to try and rescue her, but they don't know quite how to do it without hurting a whole bunch of people. That was pretty cool. I really can't wait to see what happens there, and I'm kind of hoping she joins the team because she's not doing anything lately in the comics. You barely ever see her. Okay, here's another slight hint. Dennis Hopeless may have written her into the Avengers Academy stuff. Okay, no more hints, no more hints. But anyway, I gotta admit, man, this is a really fun comic. This is just such a fun comic. Quentin Quire and Gwenpool and their little it's basically a civil rivalry. These two are going at it with each other. Oh my God. That's going to carry this book. I don't care what happens in the book. As long as that continues happening, that's going to carry this book until at least 12 issues. That's great. I need to see more. Literally, I need to see like a book of practical jokes opened up and just let them both start doing one good prank on each other in each issue. Oh my God, that would be perfect. That would be perfect. So, thoroughly impressed. I don't know how long I'm going to be reading this, okay? Because again, there's just so much there. It's like this feels like sacrilege for an amazing book. You know what I'm saying? You don't turn around and make Of Mice and Men and Lenny is actually a Muppet. Okay, the first thing I can think of is a little Muppet like, hey George, what's up George, my friend George. No, you don't butcher a good book like that. You don't butcher a good story like that. Damn it if this isn't working. So, yeah, oh man, for such a ragtag bunch. And honestly, I think that one of the main reasons why I like it is because it's so much like Great Lakes Avengers for the most part. Except these are characters who haven't, for the most part, most of these guys haven't actually worked with each other before. So, and I like the West Coast Avengers, or the Great Lakes Avengers. Like, just a stupid team that should never work, and somehow that's exactly why they do. And that seems to be a lot like this. This is cool. Plus, Quentin Quire's in it. I'm digging it. All right, guys. Seriously, consider grabbing this book. Again, there's at least 2 first appearances in here. I don't know what else. The land sharks. I don't know if they're creatures that have been in other comics before. I just never noticed them before. But there's at least 2 first appearances in here. So I would recommend grabbing the physical copy just for the sake of conversation. After that, if the book doesn't seem to really take you, consider trying the other one, like 1 or 2 more books at least on Comixology, just to see if it's something that you're going to dig. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.